Welcome, my friends. Welcome back to the Magnetic Marketing and Mindset Show. It's Tracy here. Oh my God, I'm so excited to dig into a several-part series on the law of attraction. I had the pleasure of going to see Esther and Abraham this weekend in Stanford, Connecticut, which is just about 45 minutes out of New York City, where I am. And if you don't know who that is, I will put some notes below. Esther Hicks is the conduit of the law of attraction lessons from a group of souls called Abraham. And you may hear that and do a big eye roll. It may not be congruent with your current belief set. It doesn't matter, because what I'm going to tell you is true. And when we let our beliefs, our set of beliefs, get in the way of something that could really teach us something, we're just pinching off what's available to us in terms of wisdom and knowledge. And I'm so excited to be here to help you with whatever you're dealing with right now. And I'm sure that so much of what I'm going to say is going to resonate with you somehow. And I would invite you also to share these with someone you love, because there's a lot of people walking around in their own personal pain and in stories that they've decided to stick with, when we could really let things go and live the life of our dreams. And that's what I want for all of us. And the name of this show is called the Magnetic Marketing and Mindset Show, because if you want to build a business, so many of the people that listen on here are entrepreneurs, and you want to attract in, like a magnet, the people, the opportunities, the experiences that you desire, the biggest barrier to that is the stories that you're telling yourself. It is your mindset. And I believe fully in the law of attraction. I've seen it in action. It always blows my mind when it happens. And what I do know is the more I work on my mindset, on my relationship with my soul, with the voice that's inside me, and being congruent and in lockstep with that, instead of everything else that's noise out here, the happier I am. The more joyful my life is, the more abundance that comes in. And so I want to talk today. I'm going to dig into a couple of different topics over these next couple of weeks. It'll be really fun. Lessons from Abraham. Today, I want to talk to you about when you feel out of alignment. So when you're feeling jealous, when you're feeling frustrated, when you're really pissed off, what are those lessons, and why it's so good to have them, and what to do about them. Okay. So I'm going to start here by saying the only time you ever don't feel good, your negative emotion, every time you have a negative emotion, okay, it is that you are out of alignment with what your inner source. So tap into your soul. Your inner source knows to be true. Okay. So something's off with you and your inner soul, because if it wasn't, you'd feel great. So when you get focused on something that is not in alignment, it's not going to feel good. And there's a couple of, what I have found is oftentimes, almost always, that feeling is a teaching moment for you. Okay. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples. So, let's say, all right, so I'm going to give you a really good example. There's some people that I see on social media who are entrepreneurs, and I find them to be very negative and politically motivated. And there's a part of me that can't believe that they are actually running their business in a way that's this negative, because it goes against everything I believe about how we should show up in the world. I just should it, right? My belief system of how we should show up is being a light for others to follow. right? And I feel so strongly about that. So when I see someone that is in direct opposition to that, it can fire me up in a way that can get me distracted, right? Okay, so what are the lessons there? Okay. One is my only job is to show up as my best self. I'm not supposed to be in charge of other people's experiences on this planet. The way that I serve others is by showing up as my best self. So when I see that, it's a reminder to me to go be me more, go be me louder, go shine a brighter light, right? Shine a brighter light. And so it's a great reminder to say, remind me to stay in my purpose and passion. It's great. It's like guardrails, right? The other thing is to remember that my only relationship that matters is between me and myself and what feels good. And if I'm letting myself get distracted by things that don't feel good, that's not a good use of my energy, and it's draining me. And so it's all a good reminder to get myself back to where I want to be. Okay. It's also when you see what you don't want, it reinforces what you do want, right? So when you see people acting in a way that's not how you would behave, it's a reminder to go be more of who you are, right? So no judgment on anybody that's doing anything the way they're doing it. Obviously, if you've been following this podcast, you know how I feel. What you attract is what you put out is what you get back. But just a reminder to me to go be me more. And as soon as I remember that, I feel better. And feeling better is the way to getting everything you want. Okay. So, it's like, again, like guardrails. So if you're feeling frustrated, it's telling you you're not where you're supposed to be. Right? That's not where your energy is supposed to be, or else it would feel great. If it was right, it would feel great. Okay, the other thing is a reminder. This is a quote that Abraham says all the time. Would you rather be right than happy? And I know we all have beliefs that we feel very strongly about, right? We have our core beliefs, and we can fight against something to be right and make ourselves miserable in the process, or we can go be happy. And that puts us back into alignment of where we want our energy to go. Okay. So that's number one, is the guardrails. They help you get back into your place of purpose. And I want to talk to you a little bit about purpose. It's going to be another podcast on purpose. Purpose is staying in a space of what feels good. That is your purpose. You don't have to have a grand purpose to change the world. Your purpose is to stay in a place where you feel like you're really serving from your most authentic self. That's your purpose. Okay. The rest will come. Okay. So the other thing is the idea of rockets of desire. And if anyone has followed Abraham, you know what the rockets of desire are. So there's several steps to asking and receiving from the universe. And the first is seeing something you want and asking for it. And oftentimes that it almost always comes from a feeling of contrast or conflict. And so everything works out for us. Okay. Everything works out for us. And as you look back on your life, I'm sure you can count times, as I can. I'll give you an example in just a sec, where if you feel super frustrated, right? That pain point is what launches the thing that is next for you. We are always expanding. So if you feel like frustrated and stuck and you don't like, you want to move faster and it's so frustrating, that is important because it sets you up for the next phase of growth. Okay. So I'll give you an example. So I was with a traditional network marketing company before I was with my e-commerce business that I'm with right now, my wellness business. And I was frustrated. my business wasn't growing. My team wasn't growing. I was bored. I wasn't growing. I was bored. And having fun to me is growth. Like growth is fun, even if it's messy and I have no idea what I'm doing. I kind of love just like having a blast and learning, right? Learning is expansion. I wasn't learning at all. And I was like, okay, fine. Well, I'll just, I'll kind of leave it because I've got all of this other work that I was doing. I was personal training. I was teaching classes here in New York City. And then the pandemic happened and everything shut down in New York City. And all I had was this business that was bringing me zero joy. And I kind of sat with it. I read a book at that point by Gabby Bernstein, Super Attractor. I was really trying to attract in, trying all these different things, hitting a bunch of dead ends. Important. The dead ends are important. Sometimes you've got to just try a bunch of paths to get to where you're supposed to be going. And I can remember it was like a Thursday. And I thought to myself, I really should look at, I just should it on myself. Maybe I'll take a look at other opportunities. I really don't know what else could be out there for me because I had been so busy with raising my kids and doing my classes. Like I needed things to get quiet and I needed to get frustrated. And that was a Thursday. Monday morning, I found out about the opportunity I'm in right now. Somebody called me and told me about it. And I remember looking up at the sky and thinking, wow, universe, you are amazing, And I'll tell you what, I had such clarity in that moment. It was literally like a direct download to me, a feeling that this was what I had asked for. And that was a little over 2 years ago. It has been a wild ride. So great. And it has led me into so many areas of growth where I've been able to really teach people about marketing in a way that really gives me a lot of joy and has really helped me solidify my magnetic mindset. So sometimes your frustration is exactly what you need. Think about like a little slingshot to just fling that desire up to the universe. Okay. And then the last thing I want to tell you is the last kind of source of frustration that you may be feeling are stories that you're telling yourself. And we all do it. And it's very hard to live on this planet in this moment in time and not compare yourself and feel like you've got to be in competition with other people and feel like you're not enough. There is a world of not enoughness and a feeling of scarcity and just a spotlight on all that's wrong and everyone trying to be famous. And it can just put you in such a space of scarcity. And so when you find yourself telling yourself those stories and it feels like shit, that means that your source, you at your soul level, knows that that's not true. Okay. And so your job is to start to work on the stories you're telling yourself. This is the work. Figuring out what self-limiting stories you are holding on to and carrying around like a badge of honor, and how long are you going to hold on to those? Or when are you going to drop them and just let good things to come in? Because really, that is what gets in our way. When you have a desire and then all of these stories come in, that is what makes you feel bad. Not the desire, it's the stories. And those are just a bunch of stories. I'll say this again. A belief is simply a bunch, is a story you've been telling yourself for long enough. So you keep telling yourself a story for long enough, it becomes your belief. Your belief is what dictates your actions, and your actions dictate your outcomes, right? So if you've got some self-limiting beliefs, you're not going to outchase your self-limiting beliefs. They are just a bunch of stories. This is where the work is. This is why meditation is so important. This is why listening to personal growth and the stuff that really resonates with you, not this stuff that you got to get up and hustle every day, never miss a Monday, the hustle kind of toxic culture. Really slowing down and listening to that voice inside you. Because when it feels really good, you're going to go and you're going to go fast. Okay. I took off this business. I took off 2 years ago. It was in the middle of the pandemic. There were no products. It was a nightmare. And it was the most fun I think I've ever had in business. It was such chaos. We embraced the chaos. We just laughed and learned and had a lot of grace for ourselves. And we just went, and I grew in ways I could not even imagine. And it was so fun. When I stopped having fun in my business is when I put expectations on myself. If I just stay in a place of having fun, I am in a good space. Okay. So those are the big things for today. Let me know what resonated with you the most. What negative scenario are you dealing with? Are you looking at other people and getting frustrated? Are you feeling like you're stuck? Are you telling yourself stories? What are the things that are resonating with you the most? All right. Next time we'll talk about another topic. I am so excited to do this with you guys. I could jam all day about this stuff. This is my jam. All right. I love you guys. Have a great day, and I will talk to you more soon. Mwah! Bye.